Hi, my queens. Welcome to Queen Be Healing, aka Queens Be Healing, and I am here with a message for you all. So, I know it's been a while, but we're just gonna keep rolling. And I also want to give this disclaimer because I believe in my last video I talked about relationships or breaking up or separations or something. I can't really remember because it's been a while. But I wanted to give this disclaimer that I am not this bitter person that just hates relationships or hates marriages or wants everybody to be single. No. I love the idea of being in love. I love relationships. I love beautiful connections. I love the idea of marriage. However, I am against toxic connections and unfulfilling connections and holding on to the wrong person. I am totally against that. And that's really what I wanted to come up here and talk about is knowing when to walk away from a relationship and recognizing when you have done all you can do for your partner and knowing when it's time to go. Because sometimes we tend to ignore the red flags, purple flags, pink flags, white flags. We ignore all the flags and just keep driving through the gate. And no, we're going to stop doing that, okay? So before I start this video, I pulled this card and it says, when I leave from a place of love, people respect me. And when I read this card, I immediately thought about walking away. Like literally walking away from a relationship. You are, when you're in a relationship, committed long-term relationship, even if it's not long-term. And usually the whole foundation is usually love or friendship, which is another form of love. And the same goes to when the relationship ends. It still has to be from a place of love. You still have to lead with love when you lead your ass out the door, okay? As women, I'm not speaking for all women, but usually, and I'm speaking for myself, sis, I've been here, okay? I'm talking from experience as well. When we heal and really learn to value ourselves, learn our self-worth, learn to love ourselves, it's really easy for us to identify the flaws in other people. Not flaws, the trauma, the wounds, the toxic traits of another person. And then we'll say, oh, he's this way because blah, blah, blah. Or he's this way because da, da, da. And we feel like, oh, it's time for us to be the little save-a-hoe. I ain't calling your man a hoe, I'm just saying. Term of a word. She used a better word. We put on a little cape like Superwoman and fly in and I'm going to fix him. I'm going to be the one who heals him, who fixes him, who allows him to become, transform and all this and abandon all of his wounds. Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. Don't. Just don't waste your time. And I'm not saying it to be cynical or to be negative or to say that you don't have the potential to do that. I'm saying you're wasting your time. You really are. Usually, and I think I said this in my last video, men really don't heal until they lose the woman they thought they were never going to lose. Until that tower comes crashing down, until their world starts to flip them around. Men really don't heal. That's why a lot of men who unfortunately go to prison, they come back different men, because their world really has to be flipped upside down for them to sit down and say, wait a minute, something's wrong, I need to figure this out. Whereas women, it's like we can have a bad month and we're like, okay, something's wrong, let me reevaluate myself. It's a little different for men, and I'm not a psychologist, I'm just speaking from experience. I'm losing my words here because I know somebody's going to be bashing like, wait a minute, first about it. Girl, don't, shut up. Okay. So, from experience, I know this because I was in a toxic situation for over 10 years. And he did not seem to get his shit together until I literally walked away and cut all ties. Because this is the thing. We continue to learn the same lessons until we finally learn them. God continues to send us shit. He keeps throwing shit at us. And we may cry a little bit, it may sting a little bit, but we keep on pushing through. And then finally he continues to do it until something just has to happen and you're just like, okay, I can't take it anymore. the same shit with men. We learn the same. We get taught the same lessons over and over again until we learn it. It's just like school. If you keep failing the test, you're not gonna get promoted to the next grade. You're gonna keep staying in the same grade, learning the same shit until you finally pass. And so with men, really, their healing does not commence until we walk away. Sometimes their mothers can play a part too, but for the most part, and sometimes their trauma is because of their mamas. That's another story. But for the most part, they can sit up here and say, you know what, babe, you right. I do have an issue with blah, blah, blah. I do have a problem with blah, blah, blah. I do need to fix this. I'm going to fix it. And they may put an actual effort into fixing it. And then they go right back to the bullshit. And then you notice the cycle between cycle within the same relationship, the same patterns, the same continuations. The shit just keeps on going and going and going. And you get frustrated and you're like, why this is not working out for us? Why aren't we married yet? Why is this? Why is that? Why is this happening? Because you're not supposed to be there, sis. That is why. And I'm not even talking about infidelity. I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going to go down substance abuse. I'm not going to go down physical abuse. I'm not going to go down abuse. I am not going to go down that rabbit hole. But if you got a man who got some commitment issues, intimacy issues, just whatever, and you keep trying to give him chance after chance to prove to you that he can be a changed man, and he is not a changed man, he's not going to be a changed man with you in his corner. It's like you're his, co-pilot. He don't have to fly the plane by himself because he know he has you. And my friend sent me a video on Instagram, and it says sometimes you have to be the one that got away. And it's the truth. Sometimes you have to be the one who got away, because until they lose you, they're going to feel like it's okay. Like, why do I have to really heal myself? Because she's never going to leave me. She's always going to be right here. We may argue about it from time to time. We may have issues. She may move out, go back to her mama's house for a week or so. But we always bounce back together because we're unbreakable. We're this, we're that. Why would he heal? And why would you accept a man that's less than his full potential? Why would you accept that? If you go to a restaurant, would you accept raw food on your plate? You want your food to be cooked correctly. It's the same thing with your man. Why are you accepting a half-assed version of himself when he could be the best version of himself? And let me also say this to you too, sis. Who is for you is for you. What's for you is for you. God is going to send you. He's going to have you with that person that you are meant to be with in his plan. So, if you have to, two things can happen. You walk away, he heals, and God brings y'all back together. Y'all reconcile, and things become better. It's a new day. Happy, blue, throw the confetti. Or, you walk away, he heals, you meet who you're supposed to be with, he meets who he's supposed to be with. And guess what? Confetti, happy day, rainbows, butterflies, unicorns, all that shit. And I know I talk about walking away from relationships like it's just like that. It's hard. It's really hard. And I am the queen of ghosting. I will put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I will put the little moon under their name on the text message bar. So when they text me, my phone doesn't vibrate. I am the queen of that shit. Now, it took me a while to get here because I used to be that, well, his mama didn't really hug him enough, and his mama didn't do this, and I'm going to be the one who makes him more affectionate, and I'm going to be the one that... I don't have time for that shit. I got for one, I have a child to take care of, for number one. And number two, even if I didn't have a kid, I don't want to that burden. I don't want to be the fixer. I don't want nobody to fix me, and I don't want to fix nobody. I want to fix myself, you fix yourself, and then we come together. And even when we come together, there's still going to be some rocky moments. There's still going to be some issues. Every relationship has their little whatever. And not saying this is always going to be unicorns, rainbows, and happy shit. It's going to be something. But when it comes to toxicity, that type of stuff is eliminated, is what I'm saying. We always talk about seasonal people, and we always talk about learning lessons, and the same goes for relationships. Sometimes you don't learn. You learn the most about yourself when you're in a relationship, and that's even with friendships. Like, how do you know that you're a bad communicator? You have to be communicating with somebody to know you're a bad communicator. So you learn the most about yourself when you are dealing with another person. And it's just the same if you ever learn a foreign language. If you ever learn a different language from your native language, you usually learn the most about your native language that you've been speaking all your life when you go learn another language. It's usually how it goes. Same thing with relationships. The same thing with connections. You usually don't realize shit about yourself until you're looking at in somebody else's face and you're realizing, oh, I do that. Like, how would you know that you snore unless somebody doesn't sleep with you and say, hey, you snore? I'm just saying. So, because we learn the most of ourselves from relationships, we have to recognize that sometimes we're here to learn that lesson and move the fuck on. Every long-term relationship does not end at the altar. It does not end with you having his last name. Every relationship does not. And you have to do that. Like, I saw something that says, I only date for marriage. And then something said, it was a comment, like a response that said, when you date for marriage, you're putting this requirement on the relationship, and then you're overlooking the bullshit because you're only dating to get married. You need to date. Go with the flow. See where it leads you. And it ain't gonna always lead you to marriage. And know when to walk away. I know, like, you watch certain movies and they make a lot of breakups seem so easy. Like, oh, it's just not gonna work out here. Bye. And then next thing, life is great. No. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is. But it's harder to stay with somebody who's not meant for you. That's even harder. And I told you I was not going down that rabbit hole of infidelity, but I'm going to say this really quickly and I'm going to end this video. When it comes to energies and spirits and connections, if you're dealing with someone who is juggling other people, their energy is coming to that person and it's coming to you. So now you're having all of these different energies and spirits and chaos within your own spirit. And you may not have actual physical drama, but all of that mixture of bullshit leads to blockages within yourself. It makes you have bad moods. It can lead to depression. It can lead to you not being in line with yourself. It can start messing with how you go to work, your performance, your money. So if you're dealing with somebody who is juggling other women or other men or whatever the case may be, leave that motherfucker alone because you're fucking up your own shit. And we're not even going to get to talking about STDs because this is not a after school health special. So I assuming that we all know how STDs work. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about your spirit, sis. Okay? So I'm going to leave that here. And I hope this message resonates with someone. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you're watching this video and you have a friend who needs to hear this, be sure to hit that share button and just simply say, girl, I'm sending you this out of love. Because I know we can get a little emotional when somebody's talking about our man. But sis, that ain't supposed to be your man. Let that shit go. Okay? All right. Until the next time, you all have a great day. And thank you for watching. Bye.